Hey guys, it's Wilson. This video is going to help you guys 3D print anything that you have as an STL file. So if you don't have an STL file, watch one of the other videos to learn how to make those. So this is PrusaSlicer. You're going to find this piece of software on any one of our STEM classrooms, either 131, 133, or 134. And I'm going to show you guys some basic setup things. So we don't know how this is going to open up, but there's a couple of settings we need to do right away to make sure that it's opening up in a way that's going to be compatible with our printers here at Montlake Terrace High School. First of all, we're going to go to the material, and you guys are going to choose generic PLA. Now, you might decide as you get more experience to print in something like PETG or ASA, and in which case you'll set it differently. But if you don't know what material you're using, or you're just starting out, you're going to be using PLA. Next, we need to choose the correct printer. And the correct printer is a Prusa MK4 input shaper with a 0.4 nozzle. That may not be an option, in which case go to Add Remove Printers, add a physical printer. Oh, I lied. Add Remove Presets. And you get the configuration wizard. Make sure that you have selected Prusa FFF. The very first option should be the Mark IV MK4 input shaper. Make sure you select the 0.4 nozzle and just hit finish. Go ahead and switch over to that if it's not already selected. And if you guys see MK4 right here on the print bed, you're good to go. Next, let's load our file. All right. So, first thing we need to do is we need to decide on its orientation. And the easiest way to rotate it, so this is the rotate tool. You can do stuff like this. But I like to use this place on face, and you can just choose the face that it's going to lay on the bed. It's super important to have a big flat area on the bed. Now, if that's the orientation I choose, I have a nice big flat area against the bed here. I'm going to see if I need supports. So one thing you'll notice is if you just click slice, these are all the layers that it's going to print. You'll notice that we have a print stability issue. I click on that and it says consider enabling supports. I knew that. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to turn on supports everywhere. I'm going to slice it again. There are my supports. Boy, that's a lot of supports. What if I chose to orient it this way and slice it? I still have supports. How about if I orient it this way? Cool. Even though it's selected to add supports, there's no supports needed. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and look at one more thing, and that is how much is touching the build platform. Now this might be okay. I don't have an error message saying anything. But to make it safer, I'm going to add a brim. And now when I slice this, we see a much bigger surface touching that first layer. And that's just going to help kind of suction it down and make sure it doesn't break off when it's printing, because then your print will fail. So, back up. First thing I do is I set the correct material. Then I set the correct printer. These are the only two options you should ever use unless you really know for sure you should do something different. Most of you guys won't. Supports are almost always a good idea, but you can choose your orientation using place on face to try to limit how much support material you use. I can also add a brim, and that will help adhere it to the platform better. Y'all, that's everything you need to know for basics. However, if you want to get better results, you want faster results, you want smoother, better detailed, more accurate results, sometimes you want to change with these different system presets here. Maybe you want to make your part really, really lightweight and you're not worried about strength. Well, you could go to a lower infill. I'll show you guys what that does. So even though this was a solid part in SolidWorks, it filled it with this grid pattern and kept it fairly hollow. That's called infill. If I change that infill to 5%, I get a very sparse, very lightweight, very cost-effective part, but it could be weaker. I could change that infill to like 70%, and I get a very dense infill. Most of the time, if you guys aren't trying to do something special, 15% works great. All right, guys, once you're done with this, the next step is to have an instructor come look at your print, and we will approve it. And you have to have an approval sticker before you print. Great. We have the geometry the way we want it. Let's get it ready to go to the printer. You guys will need a flash drive, and you're going to get these flash drives off of one of the 3D printers. And the next video will show you where to go to find those if you don't know where they are. Or Wilson usually has some of these on his desk. Smelser should too. Once you take that flash drive and plug it into your computer, you'll see down here in the corner, ignore that, you'll see a little picture of a flash drive. If you click that, it'll save it directly to your flash drive. Here is my flash drive. I'm going to change the name to my last name. I want to keep all of this information because this tells me we're using a 0.4 nozzle, 15 millimeter or 0.15 millimeter layer heights. It shows me that you chose a Mark IV with input shaper. And it tells me this is going to be a 1 hour and 51-minute print. I want to see all that information because it's going to help me troubleshoot if a problem goes wrong. Hit save. Yep, that is okay. And it's super important that you guys hit eject drive before you pull that flash drive. Successfully unmounted, the device can now be safely removed from the computer. Pull it out, and meet me in the next video where we go to the 3D printers and learn how to start our print.